is council reports, and this is Councilor Foley's item.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm mindful of how we started the meeting with the prayer, and Pastor said, encouraged us to do good and avoid evil, and Amendment 4 is an opportunity for voters to take that to heart, I think. This is by far, I think, the most important measure on the ballot in November, and a lot of us have been voting on it already. It came about following the Dobbs Supreme Court decision. The state of Florida took a pretty restrictive position on abortion at 6 weeks, and then this petition was generated to put Amendment 4 on the ballot. It is a reaction to that, but it is an extraordinary reaction. It's an extreme reaction, and it takes us from a position of some regulation of abortion to virtually none permitted. It hops right over where most of Europe is, which restricts abortion to 12 to 15, 20 weeks. Latin America, which is more restrictive than that. Many parts of Asia are more restrictive than that. Goes way beyond that, puts us in league with China, North Korea, and the states of California, Minnesota, New York, in terms of virtually no restriction on the procedure. I think it's an extraordinary overreaction, and I think it overrides also all reasonable regulation, such as for medical safety and so forth. The language is very broad and sweeping, and parental consent. You can go ahead and get a tattoo when you're 18, but when you're younger than that, you cannot without parental consent. But now you can go get one of the most serious procedures that can possibly be done, and do it without your parents knowing about it until after it's over with. I think it's outrageously sweeping and does not reflect the position of the people of the state of Florida, but it's very misleading. Matter of fact, the 3 female justices of the Supreme Court said it should not even be presented to the voters because it's so misleading. They were outvoted by their 4 male counterparts. It's very misleading, and it is, I think, it's going to turn Florida into an abortion tourism destination. And I don't think we want that to happen. Puts us on the far end of the spectrum again, and it's up to the voters to shoot this down. I feel it's important to raise this and just make people aware of it. I was going to introduce a resolution on this issue and ask us to vote on it. However, Mr. Gabriel has recommended I not do that. He says that notwithstanding the fact many municipalities and counties have done this across the state, that we risk significant litigation if we do it. He does properly point out that DeSantis, who is our governor, has been actively opposing this as well, has also been sued for taking that position. I think we can accomplish most of what I want to accomplish by just raising this issue and having an opportunity to discuss it now. And so I'm doing that, and I think there'll be some members of the public who want to do it as well. I'll conclude just by saying, you know, abortion has been a very contentious issue in this country, and the Supreme Court did not solve it with Roe v. Wade. They just took it away from public discourse where I think it belongs. This amendment does something of the same thing, because it's basically going to tie the hands of the legislature forever because it's a constitutional amendment. And so you can't have a reasoned discussion on it anymore. I think a reasoned discussion on abortion would be that you recognize that there's not one life involved, but 2. When you have a recognition that there are 2 lives involved, then you can have a reasonable discussion. There's no such recognition of that in this amendment. It's totally one-sided and extreme. And for that reason, I just wanted to express my opposition to it and urge my colleagues and fellow citizens to oppose it. I don't believe there's a more important vote on the ballot this year.